Welcome to my back to school night video. In this video, I hope to explain to you the nuts and bolts of my class and how I teach my class. And then when you come into back to school night, I hope to just answer questions about it, similar to what your son or daughter are going to be doing in class this year in calculus. First of all, this is my website. It's called kuhncalculus.com, and this is where you'll be finding a bunch of information both for yourself and for your son and daughter as they go through the course. This first paragraph about calculus is some really good information that you should take a quick read of. The way I do my flipped classroom is the students will be watching videos that I have produced, and I'll show you those in just a second. And they'll be watching the videos at home. Most of the videos are short. They're 10 to 15 minutes maybe. They contain information and all the notes that they would normally have taken in class on the objectives that are assigned here. And then when they come into class, I do a quick reteach. I will extend their understanding of the objective. I will present the objective how the AP folks would present it, and then they'll have time to work on the assignments I give them. When they're working on the assignments, what I do as a teacher is I try to move about the room. I try to function as their personal tutor. I can take a look at their work. I gain a greater understanding of what they can and cannot do. So a lot of times they aren't having trouble with calculus, but they're having trouble with a little bit of algebra. I try to clarify that for them as much as possible. It's a very efficient way of learning math. The minimal amount of homework that they're going to have is going to be watching the videos and taking notes at home, and possibly if they miss class or whatever, they might have to catch up on assignments here or there or study for a quiz that's coming up or a test that's coming up. But for the most part, they should be able to do the vast majority of their assignments in class. I do look at myself as kind of their guide through calculus. I don't think I'm the foremost authority on it. I think that these are some other great sites that they might find useful. The Khan Academy site has obviously grown in popularity over the last few years and is excellent. I don't use his videos mostly because some of his notation is slightly different than my notation, and I want the kids to understand how the AP is going to express it. So I just try to streamline the process as much as possible by recording my own videos similar to what you're watching today. Let's take a look around the website. Up here at the top, you're going to find, this is my landing page, the home page. Semester 1 is Unit 1, 2, and 3. Unit 1 is on limits. Unit 2 is on finding the derivative. Unit 3 is on applying the derivative. Unit 4 starts the second semester. That's on finding the integral. Unit 5 is on applying the integral. And Unit 6 is some exponential growth and all kinds of miscellaneous topics on integration. After Unit 6, then we pause and we get ready for the AP exam. We take the AP exam, which I'll tell you a little bit more about a little bit later on. And then after the AP exam, I teach a little small unit, Unit 7. That's mostly to my underclassmen after our seniors have gone off to graduation. The miscellaneous tab I'm going to pull up in just a moment. The miscellaneous tab has lots of great information there, and I'll spend some time on that in a minute. And then finally, the AP exam review. On the AP exam review, I have lots of old questions, some old sample tests, some old free response questions, and I'll show you that in just a moment as well. But let's start at the miscellaneous tab. First of all, on the miscellaneous tab, you have all these different things that they can access, all that you or your student can access. The homework and grading policy I'll open in just a moment. Finding derivatives on a calculator. We don't use a calculator a lot, but integrals and derivatives can be found on the calculator, and I will do that some. There's a geometry formula sheet and a pre-calculus formula sheet. They don't have to memorize any formulas for this class. A review of the unit circle, just in case they have forgotten that from last year. This is a great worksheet on finding how to find derivatives and integrals that I have them usually print out and put in their notebook for reference. The exam review and the key are both up here. We use that later on in December and getting ready for the exam in January. There's a summer review packet, and that summer review packet, hopefully you have seen that and they've been working on it. We're actually going to be quizzing on that tomorrow. And then the back to school night video, which I'll upload in just a moment. Let's open that grading policy. So my homework and grading policy, this top part is all information. The exam is on May the 5th. My email address, my cell phone number, if you're trying to reach me, please call me on that number. My room in school is A309. I have office hours for help before school or fifth lunch. Follow me on Twitter at Coach Kuhn. And then also I use Remind to send out Remind text messages. I have my students sign up for this. That way I can remind them of different things coming up, maybe a test or a quiz, or send them out. Sometimes I can send out answer sheets that way. If you want to join Remind, you just text at 93E43 to 81010. You can opt out at any time if you don't want to get the messages. Going through the homework and grading policy, the flipped classroom. That's what you found on my landing page. Let's talk about attendance for a moment. Attendance is mandatory in Montgomery County. 3 unexcused absences result in a warning. 5 unexcused absences will be a loss of credit, and 3 unexcused tardies equal an unexcused absence. The biggest problem, I don't find a lot of problems with attendance in my class. Sometimes first period people have a hard time getting up and getting here, so they might be running late, but hopefully I can motivate them to get here early enough. The second thing is that I find that one big red flag that happens every once in a while is that if a student is in trouble in the class, they'll tend to start getting that quiz or test illness. So on test days or quiz days, they are just always out sick. Well, what I ask is I either ask them to send me a text or for you to send me an email just saying, hey, they're out sick today and when can they make up the test? I'm perfectly fine with that as long as I hear from you. If I don't hear from somebody, then I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. I want to know where they are. I want to know why they're missing my test or quiz and when they're going to be making it up. If they're going to be gone because they have a doctor's appointment or they're going on a college visit, something like that, I do ask them to take it early or make other arrangements before the test or quiz, not after. So I just would like them to be proactive with that and take care of it up front. Again, I don't find a lot of problems with attendance, and if I see a problem, then I will contact you as a parent and we can work through it. I ask them to do their own work. We do some group work, and that's fine. Then they can work together. I do let them work together on their assignments in class. I think they can learn a lot from each other just as well as they can learn from me. But when we're doing our tests and quizzes, I do ask them to do it on their own. I assign the work in class, and the reason I assign the work in class is to reinforce the objectives, to show mastery of the objectives. I will give them some assignment quizzes on that, which I'll explain to you in just a little bit. But that's why I assign the classwork. Obviously, I think you have to do the math. You can't just hear me say it. You can't watch somebody else do it. You have to do it yourself. I've given you a very general course outline. This is a very classic calculus class. If you go to like the AP review manuals, they all follow the same order. We start out with doing some limits. Then we get into finding derivatives. We apply the derivative. We find the integral. We apply the integral. We get ready for the AP exam. My grading policy. Different ways of getting grades in here. In my first marking period, we have a quiz on our summer review packet. The summer review packet hopefully is done, and that quiz will be tomorrow. That counts for 10% of their marking period grade. It's on all those objectives that they should have brought to me from previous classes. I find a lot of times that kids will understand calculus very well. They'll do great in calculus, but they won't understand the algebra or the pre-calculus to get the right answer. So I want to find out where their kind of deficiencies are. So that's why I gave them this summer review packet. That's 10% of this first marking period grade. That's the only time you'll see that grade in there. Then we have assignment quizzes. These assignment quizzes will run throughout the year. The assignment quizzes count for 20% of their grade, and this is on the assignments that they're going to be doing in class. Now, what I do with these assignment quizzes is I give them the exact same problems that they should have done in class during the few days or week before they get the quiz. So they have a number of days to work on these assignments, and then I'll give them assignment quizzes. The assignment quizzes are not announced, and they are not announced, and you may not reassess them. They are 20% of their grade. And then I have a bunch of graded assignments, and I say it's 70 or 80% because it's 70% in the first marking period. In the other marking periods, it's 80%. The reason why it changes is because of that summer review quiz. These graded assignments can consist of group assignments, which I use as review activities before tests and quizzes. They can be quizzes themselves, or they can be tests. So this all kind of fits into that graded category. In terms of reassessment, I will let them reassess on their quizzes, and they can earn 1/3 of their points back that they have missed, up to it'll bring it up to a 50%. So if the 1/3 wouldn't bring up to a 50%, we apply that 50% rule there. The group tests, and the mini quizzes are not reassessable, and the quiz I give them on the summer packet is also not reassessable. Classic grading scale, Montgomery County, 90, 80, 70, 60, that so on and so forth. And then I give you a little bit about how to be a successful learner. First of all, it seems kind of silly to say this, but I teach this by video. You got to watch the video and take good notes. You got to know what you got to give yourself a chance. So I don't ask you to do a lot of work, or don't ask them to do a lot of work outside of class. They need to watch the videos, stop them, replay the examples, find extra examples, whatever, and they need to take notes from it. Do the assignments. Again, seems silly, but you've got to be an active learner. You can't be a passive learner here. I'm not going to spoon feed you, not whatsoever. It's a college level class. You got to be an active learner. You got to be engaged. You got to watch the videos. You got to do the work. Put your phone away. When it's time to, when I'm teaching, I don't do a lot of teaching in class, but what I'm teaching in class is important. And the reason why I'm teaching it, and the reason why I'm doing it in class is because it's going to show back up on a quiz or a test. It's going to show up on the AP exam. I want to make sure you have an understanding of the objective presented in the way I'm presenting it. Again, don't teach much in class. Use the class time efficiently to do the assignments. Okay. Try not to fall behind. Calculus is incredibly cumulative. If you do fall behind, it's really difficult to get caught back up. It kind of snowballs on you, and if you can't do what we're doing the first week of school, the second week of school is going to get worse, and by the time we're in May, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Be an active learner. Talked about that for a little bit. Come to class regularly on time. Come to class prepared, and utilize me. Utilize me as a teacher. It seems silly, but utilize me as a teacher. Make sure you're asking questions. Make sure you're out there. You can't be shy. There's a lot of people. A lot of the classes are very large, and so I get around to as many people as I can. But make sure you're not just sitting in the corner and staying quiet and not doing something. You have to be an active learner in this class. Phones, I gotta go on record as saying I'm not the most stringent on phones. I let you listen to music when you're doing the work. I want them put away when I'm teaching. That's the biggest thing. Like if I look around and I'm trying to teach you something, I see the phone out and you're texting or you're distracted in other ways, I'm going to ask you to put it away. If I see you during work time and you're trying to watch YouTube videos or whatever, again, I'm going to ask you to put it away. If you're watching another video that might be my instructional video, I will say that's okay. Calculators, we don't use them a lot, but you should have one. We do use it, especially at the end of the year. It will come into play more, so you do need one. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the website. Let me go back to the miscellaneous tab and show you how this is kind of set up. And let's just pick one of the units. So let's start with Unit 1 because that's the one we're going into. First of all, the first thing you're going to find in Unit 1 is the assignment sheet. So on the assignment sheet, and I do this for each of the units, I will post okay, for Tuesday, September 8th, you should have watched video 1. And then when they come into class on that Tuesday, I will do a reteach on that first video. So over Labor Day weekend, they should be watching this first video. Okay, and to watch the first video, they can go back to the Unit 1 tab, and the video 1 link will take you to YouTube. And you can see, so you can't see me on the video, but you can see my annotations, and you'll hear my voice over those annotations on the video. So oops, I'm trying to get there. There we go. Back to my assignment sheet. So before Tuesday the 8th, you're going to watch that first video. I'll do a quick reteach on it, and then you'll have an assignment to work on. So Tuesday in class, you can start working on this assignment. And then Wednesday in class, we continue with that same assignment. Again, each of those days, the first day I'll do a reteach. The second day I'll probably do some multiple choice examples of how would the AP exam present limits, for instance. Okay, and then for Wednesday the 10th, you got to watch the second video. So you go back to, here we go, second video. It takes it right to the video. They're all uploaded on YouTube, so you can watch them on any platform. They're my Promethean board, so it's all my notes, it's all my voice talking over it. And that's kind of how you set it up. Also, over here under the W, what I will do for each of the different units is I will post the answer keys, and then I'll post the notes from each of the days. We don't have any notes yet. We haven't started school yet, but let's say I take notes from the first day. So it will say September 8th notes, and the notes will be there. So everything we did in class that day will be right here under this W. And I just keep on adding to that as we go along. I never take them down. I won't take them down until next summer. My top seems to have gone away, so let me refresh this. There we go. So we were at Unit 1. We did the miscellaneous tab. Other units are done the same way. Some of them have more videos. You can kind of take a look at through. The assignment sheets are not up yet, and the reason the assignment sheets are not up yet is because if you look at this assignment sheet, I have all the dates on there. You can see that our first test is on September 29th. You can see where our group test is, which is an assignment, which is a review assignment test. We have a quiz on the 16th. The reason I don't post all the assignment sheets is because a lot of times our calendar will get interruptions in it, and so then I have to adapt the assignment sheets based upon those interruptions. So I post it unit by unit. So like if I go to Unit 3, my my Unit 3 assignment sheet is not active yet. It'll be active once we get to Unit 3, or get just before Unit 3, and you can see all the videos in there and stuff like that. Okay. I don't know why I keep on losing this top part, but I do. So let me do that again. And then finally, I have two more things for you. First of all, in April and then into May, we'll be getting ready for the AP exam. So I have some AP exam review. I have the 88 exam. I have the 98 exam. I have the little worksheet that we'll work on about when the question says something. And then you'll find this chart, and this chart has all of the free response questions from 2002 to last year. And the nice thing about this chart, like let's just take a look at last year's exam. These are the free response questions from last year's exam. And if you look at it, what you can see is here's the question, and then here's the answer key, and then here's how the points were delineated. All of the free response questions are worth 9 points. There are 6 of them, so here's how the points were given out. And I think it's really good and really useful for kids to see this information. And we'll get into this a lot more as we get later in the year. This is not going to be a big player in the first semester, but in the second semester it really comes into play, just so you know it's there. Finally, I wanted to conclude this by taking a look at my last year's results. These are my last year's results. A lot of times parents have concerns about their kid coming into AP Calculus. It's a difficult class. It's a difficult AP exam, and I teach it a little bit differently. So I just wanted to share with you some of the things, my success last year, our success of our students last year. I had 106 kids take the exam out of the 282,000 that took the exam. And what you can see by this chart, you can score 1 is the lowest score, a 2, a 3, a 4, or 5. And 78 of my 106 kids scored a 4 or 5, which will generally earn you college credit. That's over 73% of the students, which is pretty remarkable. If you look at this, the darker colors of the bar charts are my students. This is national average. My students, national average. So 1s and 2s, we were way low, which is great. And then getting 3s, which are better scores. 4s and 5s are excellent scores, and you can see we did considerably better than national average, which was really outstanding. So if they are engaged in the class, if they do the work they've asked to do, if they really work at it and get ready for that AP exam, they can be successful and earn college credit for this course. These other two charts that just talk about multiple choice and the free response, you can see that we did fabulous on the multiple choice in terms of the upper fourth, or the top 2 fourths, and same thing on the free response. So over 80% both cases. In fact, in this case, 90% of my students scored in the top half in the country. So that really is outstanding. I look forward to meeting you all and talking to you at Back to School Night. Remember, CoonCalculus.com, that's where you want to bookmark. I don't know why my top chart is doing that, but we'll have to get that fixed. I look forward to meeting you. Please bring questions to me. I won't take time to go through all of this again back to school night. I just answer all your questions that you may have. And if you have individual questions that you want me to answer, give me a call or send me an email, and I can reply and make sure the year gets started on the right track.